Have you ever heard of a tiny country? Trapped between the towering Caucasus Mountains and the roaring waves of the Black Sea. Where every step you take seems to uncover another hidden secret. Where beauty carries not only allure but also defiance. Georgia, a name that may sound distant. Yet it conjures images of a land both wild and seductive. Mysterious to the point of unsettling. This is not merely a country with an ancient history. It is a place often called a paradise for the sexiest girls on earth, a shocking truth. Almost unbelievable. Yet one you cannot look away from once you witness its streets for yourself. Picture this, on a cobblestone alley in old Tbilisi. The golden light flickers against the faces of young women with piercing eyes and flowing hair. Each step turning the city itself into a living runway. But Georgia is not only about breathtaking beauty, it is also a paradox. A land of contradictions, poor yet rich. Struggling yet bursting with life. Clinging to the past yet surging into the future. Here, elderly vendors still sell fruit on street corners while the youth dance until dawn in neon-lit clubs. Here, the Georgian language, so unique it had to be safeguarded by UNESCO, continues to echo proudly in ancient streets. And here, a simple smile is enough to get you invited to a family feast where strangers quickly become friends. So, what makes Georgia so different? What truths lie hidden beneath this rugged beauty? This is not just a journey across a country, it is an expedition into the unknown. Into stories you have never heard. Into revelations that may leave you stunned. In this video, we will step inside Georgia, the hidden paradise of the Caucasus, to witness firsthand a life of contradictions, allure, and unshakable resilience. In a place the world dares to call a paradise for extremely sexy girls. Let's begin the journey. Number 1. Ancient language and history. Did you know that there is a language UNESCO has declared a cultural treasure in need of protection, simply because it resembles no other tongue in the world? That language is Georgian, or Sakartvelo. Its alphabet does not follow Latin, Slavic, or Arabic roots. Instead, it curves and flows like the strokes of an ancient dance etched onto parchment. For thousands of years, Georgia has been the cradle of civilizations. The kingdom of Caucasus appears in Greek mythology as the land where Jason and the Argonauts sought the Golden Fleece. Nearby, the kingdom of Iberia once stood as a brilliant cultural hub of the ancient world. Through centuries of domination by Rome, Persia, the Arabs, the Ottomans, and finally the Soviets, Georgians clung to their language and identity as if guarding an unbreakable relic. Even in modern-day Tbilisi, you can still find free classes where both children and adults relearn their mother tongue. Old books with faded pages, adorned with those curving characters like gentle waves, have become symbols of national pride. A Georgian elder once told a traveler, "When we speak Georgian, we are not merely communicating, we are living with our ancestors once more." For international visitors, hearing Georgian echo through the cobblestone alleys of Tbilisi is a rare experience, as if history itself whispers in your ear. And perhaps, this language, with its uniqueness and generational strength, is the very soul of this proud little country. Once you hear it, you will never forget it. And this is just the beginning of our journey into Georgia. Number 2. Hospitality and the Georgian smile. Somewhere in the world, you might be seen as a stranger. But in Georgia, even if you stop only to buy an apple, you might be invited home for dinner. Georgians carry a centuries-old tradition of hospitality, rooted in the communal feast known as the supra. At these gatherings, red wine shimmers in ancient clay vessels. Golden khachapuri fills the air with the rich scent of cheese, and the Caucasian dance rises like the call of history. It is not just a meal, but a social ritual, a binding of souls through kinship and compassion. On a summer evening in Tbilisi's central square, you may find groups of young people holding hands, spinning to the pounding of drums, their garments swirling beneath golden lights. For them, the dance is more than a performance, it is an invitation. Step into the circle. You are no longer an outsider. What makes the difference is sincerity, something money cannot buy and no guidebook can teach. For international visitors, Georgia is a place where you need nothing but a smile. That smile is the key that opens the door to a community where warmth is instinct, not pretense. And when you leave, what lingers in your memory is not only the mountains or ancient architecture, but the genuine smiles that follow you long after the journey ends. It is a signature only Georgia can imprint. And from those smiles, the journey into this hidden paradise truly begins. Number 3. Cuisine and abundant agriculture. If Italy has pizza and Japan has sushi, then Georgia has khachapuri, a cheese-filled bread so irresistible that anyone who tastes it will never forget. It is more than just a dish, it is a cultural emblem, tied deeply to Georgian pride and hospitality. Georgia is also known as one of the cradles of ancient winemaking, with archaeological evidence showing wine was produced here over 8,000 years ago, long before many other civilizations had even discovered fermentation. The country's fertile soil and diverse climate, stretching from snow-capped mountains to warm valleys, provide an abundance of fresh produce, meat, and dairy at remarkably low prices. A traveler once recounted, "I had only $10 in my pocket. Yet it was enough to buy a basket full of vegetables, a steaming hot khachapuri, and a bottle of red wine, a royal feast at the price of pocket change." In Georgia, dining transforms from a basic need into an art of enjoyment, a moment of bonding, a memory to be cherished. For international visitors, Georgian cuisine is a journey of flavors, the rich melt of cheese in khachapuri, the gentle acidity of ancient wine, and the authenticity of Tbilisi's bustling markets. Here, even the smallest coin can unlock a culinary experience worth remembering. What makes Georgia unique is the way history, agriculture, and passion for food blend seamlessly, creating a paradise where you can eat like royalty without the weight of financial worry. And it is from these meals, simple yet extraordinary, that the path of discovery in Georgia continues, leading us toward even more captivating stories that await ahead. Number 4. Architecture and urban symbols. A curved glass bridge glowing like a ribbon of emerald stretched across the Kura River. This is the Peace Bridge, a symbol of a Georgia that is both modern and timeless. In Tbilisi, you will not only find the stark concrete blocks of the Soviet era, but also the domes of centuries-old Orthodox churches, standing side by side with striking modern landmarks. Among them is the angel clock, where a tiny angel appears every hour to strike the bell. The story behind it is as poetic as its form, built by a master puppeteer who devoted his life to its creation. It serves as a reminder that while time passes, memory remains, resonating with every chime. Walking along the cobblestone streets, gazing up at wooden balconies carved with intricate detail, or pausing before a massive concrete building from the 20th century, you realize that Tbilisi is like a living museum, where layers of history overlap and coexist. For international travelers, this is not just an architectural tour, it is the feeling of touching the flow of time itself, where past and present stand shoulder to shoulder, telling the same story together. And within this blend, Georgia reveals its urban soul, a place that feels both foreign and familiar, mysterious yet intimate. From the glowing Peace Bridge to the ringing of the angel clock, from narrow lanes draped in bougainvillea to wide squares illuminated at night, Tbilisi is a city where architecture is not merely to be seen, but to be felt, guiding us deeper into the journey of a land that is at once ancient and ever new. Number 5. Modern life and challenges. You can rent an average apartment in Tbilisi for about $700 a month, yet the average local salary is only around $800. That imbalance is like a scale tipped toward hardship, making life here both alluring and challenging. Georgian incomes range between $750 and $900 per month, enough to sustain a modest lifestyle in rural areas, but a burden when living in the capital. Housing prices are driven not only by local demand but also by waves of immigrants and international visitors, pushing the rental market into imbalance. Taxis in Tbilisi tell another story. The familiar white cars operate without meters, forcing passengers to negotiate fares before stepping inside. A student from the Philippines once shared, "I came to Georgia for affordable tuition, but rent costs forced me to work 3 different jobs just to survive." That testimony reflects the reality. Georgia may be a dream destination for short-term travelers, with cheap produce, vibrant culture, and warm people. But for those hoping to settle long-term, economic challenges loom large. Georgia is like a two-sided painting, one side glowing with hospitality, beauty, and charm, the other shaded with the daily struggles its citizens endure. And it is within these contradictions that the country reveals its deeper truth. To truly experience Georgia, you cannot simply watch, you must live it, listen to it, and feel the pulse of its cities. And this journey is far from over, with even more unexpected facets still waiting to be uncovered. Number 6. Nightlife and street culture. When the sun sets, Tbilisi transforms into a grand stage under the night sky. Every street becomes a catwalk, where neon lights mingle with electronic beats and the hurried footsteps of youth. Nightlife in Georgia is not confined to bars or clubs. It spills onto the cobblestone alleys, where music, fashion, and energy collide. The presence of the Slavic community, Russian and Ukrainian women, has introduced a new wave of aesthetics, a beauty that is both cold and alluring, fashion that is daring yet refined, turning every street corner into a living performance. You don't even need to step into a nightclub. Sitting at a roadside cafe with a glass of wine was enough to witness an endless fashion show unfolding before your eyes. Yet behind the glamour, Georgian nightlife retains its unique warmth, a friendly smile, a brief conversation, or an unexpected invitation to join a street dance. For international visitors, it is an experience both familiar and surprising, as vibrant as Paris or Berlin, yet with an intimacy that only Georgians can provide. The streets of Tbilisi and Batumi at night are proof of the country's paradox, a dazzling feast of lights and music, and at the same time, a space where strangers can become friends in a heartbeat. And from these sleepless nights, the journey of discovering Georgia reveals even more surprises waiting to be uncovered. Number 7. Contradictions and Future. A small country where you are welcomed with warm smiles, yet where every street corner echoes with chants of protest. This is Georgia. The scene is almost surreal. In the very same square, within the span of hours, you may witness a fiery protest erupting and then hear street musicians playing cheerful tunes that draw tourists into dance. The war in Ukraine has driven hundreds of thousands of Russians into Georgia, bringing new hopes but also sparking tensions the country has never faced before. Housing prices have soared, locals feel the squeeze, and anti-Russian demonstrations ignite again and again in Freedom Square, thousands of arms raised, Ukrainian flags fluttering under the streetlights. Yet right beside it, a group of young performers strum guitars, their voices cutting through the tension, and travelers join in, dancing and filming as if the political storm were miles away. Georgia is a living paradox. On one side, fury against northern power; on the other, open arms for anyone carrying a smile and foreign currency. It feels like a heart beating with two rhythms, one of anger, one of hospitality. And within that contradiction, Georgia reveals its true essence, a small but proud nation, struggling to balance its scarred past with a hopeful future. The cinematic image is unforgettable. The camera glides slowly across a sea of protesters, flames flickering against angry faces, then suddenly shifts to the strum of a guitar. Young women holding hands with tourists, dancing in the street. These two fragments, so opposed yet inseparable, form the portrait of Georgia, unstable, yet magnetic, And the lingering echo in our minds is an unsettling question. How can such a small country preserve its identity while fighting political pressure on one side and welcoming the global community on the other? Georgia. It is this paradox itself that becomes its unforgettable allure. Let us pause for a moment and listen to Georgia breathe. This is a land of contradictions, where elderly men and women still sit by the roadside selling apples to survive, while only a few streets away, young people dance until dawn in neon-lit clubs. A small country, yet it carries a language unlike any other in the world, enduring for millennia as an immortal fragment of memory. A society weighed down by economic challenges, yet its people smile as if happiness were something that never required wealth to exist. Georgia whispers to us a simple truth: there are places in this world where happiness is not measured by riches. It is carried in the memories preserved, in the faith unbroken, and in hospitality kept alive like a sacred flame. Picture yourself standing among ancient ruins beneath a sky full of stars. The stone walls murmuring tales of kingdoms long gone, while in the distance, the flickering fire of a traditional ritual beats like the heart of an entire people. That moment asks us, who are we? Why do we create? And what will we leave behind for those who come after us? Georgia does not give us the answers, but it offers us a mirror of a nation poor yet rich, small yet proud, fragile yet luminous. Georgia, the hidden paradise of the Caucasus, a nation both enchanting and harsh, where beauty lies not only in its majestic landscapes or its striking faces, but in the pride of enduring hardship and the smiles that shine despite challenges. Together, we have wandered the cobblestone alleys of Tbilisi, gazed at the Peace Bridge glowing in the night, heard the chime of the angel clock, and witnessed the dramatic contrast between fiery protests in Freedom Square and the joy of street musicians playing under the same sky. Yet beyond these scenes, Georgia is not merely a destination, it is a mirror reflecting humanity's timeless question: what truly makes us happy? Is it wealth, luxury, or the memories, faith, and hospitality that endure against time itself? As night falls over the Caucasus Mountains, and the Black Sea whispers under the moonlight, you may ask yourself, how many places in this world still preserve such magical contradictions? What we've seen here is only a fragment of the vast journey of discovery we want to share with you. If this story touched you, leave a like, a comment, or share your reflections. And don't forget to subscribe to Fascinating Discoveries to continue traveling with us into untold secrets, unexplored lands, and stories that may forever change the way you see the world.